back in so what years did you see the gang start hitting St. Louis?
I think I remember the gangs as early as like 87, 88. With the beginning of them that I can remember as far as on our end, on our block, it was like 5 Trey Avalon gangsters and 7 4 Hoovers.
So those were California gangs.
Those were California gangs that the St. Louis people had, I guess,
Adapted to.
joined the part of.
So did those guys actually come here from Cali, or did anybody like go out to?
A couple of them had came back from California. A couple of guys that I grew up with had actually went to California and came back. And then there was a couple of guys that came that was from California that came down, and I guess you would say put them on.
All right, so you say it was which gangs was it?
It's the first ones that I remember was the 5 Trey Avalon Gangster Crips, and it was 7 4 Hoovers. That was on our block. But you know, around the corner you had gangs like the 4 Bud. You know, you had gangs, I guess, like Beam Street.
Well, those were St. Louis. Those were St. Louis sets.
Those were St. Louis Bloods, yeah.
All right, so the Beam was the St. Louis Bloods, and 4 Bud was Crips, right?
Yes.
Yeah, just to. All right, so when did you start seeing the violence between the two come around, or did it start instantly?
I think that I want to say that like in 89 and 90 it started being real bad, because you had the drive-by shooting was the thing then. The drive-by shooting, there was a lot of drive-bys going on. There was innocent people being shot. You know, a lot of stuff that was going on. I guess everything that had happened in California, they got adapted in St. Louis.
So was drive-bys were pretty much like every day, all day, pretty much.
It was a real commonplace.
So once the gangs hit St. Louis, how did you see like the difference before the neighborhoods and after? Was like the communities broken up?
I mean, it was before where, you know, the kids could play out freely and everything else. Now, if you was a parent, you kind of had to worry about, you couldn't just let your kids go out and play. It took the area where the kids could play at all times. It put a danger sign up.
So was there any type of like recruitment process, or you know, any initiations going on, or what they just?
For real, it was how I seen it. If you was from the area, if you was from your area, your block or something, you could join. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
There's already your friends and stuff, so I guess it was easy to say now, I'm in the gang with them.
So, did you ever get into any of the gangs or the selling of drugs or anything?
I never did the gang thing, but all my friends and my brother, they was all in the gang, so it was probably assumed that I was in the gang. And I'm saying, yeah, drug selling, I got off into it early on.
Alright, so how did that go for you?
I mean, it all, like you always probably hear, we got ups and downs. I've had some good moments and I've had some bad moments.
I heard some stuff like you used to walk down the street with $100,000 just in the bag, like it wasn't nothing.
I mean, I may have did that a time or two. I don't know if that was a real often thing. I done had some good times with it, and you know,
Right.
I met some people who really helped me along the line make a lot of money.
That's what's up. Did you ever do any jail time or anything like that?
I done did a
with
pretty
the
amount
drugs?
of, I done did a lot of jail time in my time.
So, did you see any difference in the gangs in jail from the gangs on the streets?
It's really the same, because the people in jail is the people who you knew on the streets.
Right.
If some time go by and you don't see them on the streets, then they probably in jail unless you heard about them being killed or something.
So you said it was Bloods and Crips in St. Louis at one point.
Yeah.
Was there any other gangs like GDs or Vice Lords or?
I don't always heard GDs and Vice Lords, but from where I'm at, the area where I'm from, it was dominated by Crips and Bloods.
Mostly Crips and Bloods. Alright, so did any other Crips start getting into it with any other Crips like they do in California? Like, was there a split?
Yeah, you had the 6-0 Crips against the 6 Deuce Crips. That was the first, I think, real big war that I heard that was going on between the gangs. That's when it really kicked off with the 6 O's and the 6 Deuces.
Yeah, that's one that's still pretty popular right now. It's the 6 O's and 6 Deuces. You see it all on Facebook.
Yep.
So, which was probably the biggest gang that you probably say was in St. Louis at the time?
I want to say, I think it was.
During the late 80s, early 90s.
I want to say, I think it's the Fofo Bud and they affiliates. I think, as far as I know, that seemed to be the biggest to me.
All right, and the Fofo Blood clicked up with a couple different sets around the north side.
Yeah.
Around their area.
Yep.
All right. So what about what about the all right, so did you ever see anything with was the police ever doing anything dirty in the neighborhood?
I mean, yeah, I think police, they human beings. It's like you're gonna have good ones, you're gonna have bad ones, and yeah, I witnessed firsthand some bad police.
Hey, 'cause I heard stuff like they'll take your drugs, drop you off in a rival neighborhood, and leave you.
All of that I've heard of. They'll take your money, threaten you with a dope case if you make any noise about it. You know, I mean, I guess when they dealing with drug dealers, that anything goes in their world.
All right. So the Crips, the Crip gangs around that area was the biggest, you would say, on the north side at least.
Bud was pretty much the biggest that I knew about with the affiliates they had.
All right. So, what side of town did you see any Bloods on the north side or west side or?
The street that I'm from, eventually turned to, like I said, at first it started off in the Crips there, then it wound up being Crips and Blood, and then it wound up being totally Crips. Totally Bloods on the block that I'm from.
So do you think nowadays it's more Bloods than it is Crips, or it's about evened out?
It's probably even.
Yeah. All right. I appreciate you for sitting down with me.
But,
All right.